Why, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to a Who review. I am Davros, and I am a Whovian, and today I am reviewing Doctor Who: The End of Time. So this is a two-part Christmas and New Year special. Because 2009 we didn't have a series, but we were greatly compensated with 4 special episodes, or 5 if you count the next Doctor. And at Christmas we got 2 helpings of it. We got The End of Time parts 1 and 2. So, the Doctor in this is reunited with Wilf. Donna's grandfather, and the Doctor faces the biggest fight of his life, where he is told back in Planet of the Dead that it's returning through the darkness and he will knock 4 times. Now the Doctor and all of us thought that those 4 knocks would be the Master with his drums, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we were expecting the Master to do something that would cause his regeneration. Of course, it was inevitable that the Doctor wasn't going to die, because it was a regeneration episode coming, and that. So basically, the Master is at work, and something is trying to return through the darkness, and only the Doctor can stop it, as it is his greatest battle. So let's get to our likes and dislikes about this one. First of all, I love David Tennant in this. This was his final outing, and he wanted to go out in a bang, and he came with a great sense of humour, wearing a cowboy hat, a flower necklace and sunglasses, and even beat the TARDIS door lock and unlock. I liked how he made his entrance in this episode, and how he was greeted by the Ood, and that, I just liked that. I liked how he came and sat with the Ood, how they showed him a prophecy of the Master returning, and that. That's another thing. I liked how we finally got to find out after 2 years, what the hell was that ring about when the Doctor burned his body? Who was that woman picking it up? We now found that he had disciples at the ready to resurrect him in case he knew he might die. So I liked how it tied in with Last of the Time Lords, how we got to see what that was all about, because Russell T Davies, he originally left that open for any other writer if they wanted to pick it up, but of course he ended up picking it up, and that. And I loved John Simm as the Master. His Master was absolutely bonkers, and in this he was still absolutely bonkers, and I loved it. For me, in some scenes, he even stole the show as well, with his wittiness, how he was so hungry, and how he, because he burnt up his own life force and that, because his resurrection got interfered by his wife, Lucy Saxon. She was part of the resurrection thing, why he kissed her all the time and that. So the Master was fun, indeed. I also love Bernard Cribbins in this. He was just, the fun sidekick for this special, and I liked his character. He's fun. He's a fun guy, Bernard Cribbins, and I liked his character Wilf. I also like the villain as well in this, Joshua Nate Smith, played by that guy who was Friar Tuck in the BBC series Robin Hood. I also, I loved Timothy Dalton's narration in this. Now, it was told that Timothy Dalton would appear in that Christmas special as the narrator, but I'm thinking, is he just going to voice over and tell the story? But then, at the end, we got a shock twist cliffhanger, where it turns out, and I remember watching this on Christmas Day, which was, almost a decade ago now. I remember watching it, and my jaw just dropping, because he turned out he wasn't just the narrator, he was the Time Lord President. And the Time Lords were alive. Thinking, how are they returning? Is the universe and that? I was just so excited by it, and then it ended, and we had to wait a whole week for it to resolve itself. Never had I wanted a Christmas to go so quickly, because I love Christmas. Okay, so yes. Yeah. Yeah, things I didn't like. I just didn't like what the Master's motive was. I mean, why the hell would you want to rule a world where everyone looks like you and thinks like you? Because the Master, he used this immortal gate that Nate Smith was building, and that would make people live forever. The Master sabotaged it and then turned everyone into him. Why the hell would you want to rule a planet where everyone's the same as you? I just found that a bit daft, a bit too loony for the Master. I thought, oh come on, I'm sure you'll come up with something more evil than that. So I didn't like what the Master's motive was. That was part one anyway. Part two, we found out that the Time Lord President was actually Rassilon, and we found out that the Time Lords weren't as dead as we thought. Now, I liked how the Doctor, we didn't get much explained about it, but the Doctor put them in a time lock, and they were stuck there. Yes, he trapped them in a lock, and they wanted to break through, but we found out that the 4 drum beats in the Master's head was none other than a signal for the Time Lords so they could break through and get the Doctor. I also like that the President turned out to be Rassilon. When the Doctor referred to him as Rassilon, I thought, Rassilon? He's not been in it since the 5 Doctors. I thought, we've got another classic Time Lord villain back, as well as the Master. And yeah, I liked that. Another thing I liked was this mysterious woman in it. She appeared in part 1 and always spoke to Wilfred. Now, I don't know who she was. There have been so many who theories on who she is, saying, could she be the Doctor's mother? Could she be Susan? Could she be Romana? We never got an answer for that, and we may never do. But still, she was clearly someone that the Doctor knew, because when she moved her hand in the finale, the Doctor saw her face and he seemed to know who she was. So I didn't like how we didn't get any answers on her, but do we need them? I don't know. And of course we had Catherine Tate in this too as Donna, who has no memory of the Doctor, but somehow the Doctor was sort of keeping her safe still, and she was still fighting for the Dr. Donna. Yeah, and why she bought Wilf that biography of Joshua Nate Smith and what have you. Yeah. Yes, that was fun. Now for the most notorious moment in this 2-part story, the Doctor's regeneration. Just had to get a drink of water, my voice is starting to strain. Anyway, before we delve further into that, I also like the Vinvoce we got. Now, 2 Christmases before Voyage of the Damned, we got a little red alien with spikes called the Branny Cavalata, and he was a Zocchi, and then we got some distant relative that was like them but human-sized and green called Vinvoce. Now, I like those 2. I can't remember. I know that Sinead Keener from Being Human was one of them. I can't remember what the comedic actor was called who played the other one, but they were funny in this, and they were the comic relief in it as well. Okay, so the regeneration. Now we were told that he will knock 3 times. We got the whole thing that it's returning from the darkness, which was Gallifrey, and the Doctor stopped it. And for a moment, we were all relieved that the Doctor's still alive, until he had the 4 knocks. Turns out the 4 knocks was Wilf. Now, when I watched that at first, I was like, no. And I had goosebumps, and I did not see it coming. And that's what caused... And the Doctor knew he would have to go into that tank to let Wilf out, because the whole thing was about to flood with radiation. So the Doctor made that noble sacrifice. Now, at the time when I watched this, I thought it was upsetting and sad to watch. But as I've gotten older, as the years have gone by, I kind of look at it now and think, okay, now the Doctor's just having a tantrum because he knows he's going to have to regenerate. And that. I know it's a big change, Doctor, but it's time to do so. You know, and he was prophesied this, so he's been told this so long that his song is ending. Now for the next bit, after he makes his noble sacrifice, he bids farewell to all his companions he's known throughout his life. He, saves Mickey and Martha from Centauran, and they're both married now. He, saves Luke Smith from a car that nearly hits him, and Sarah Jane sees the 10th Doctor for the last time. I thought that was nice. We see him set Captain Jack up in a space bar with Alonso. Now, of course, if you don't know what happened, why Jack's in space, that's all in talks with Children of Earth. Excuse me. He gets a book signing and wants to know if Joan, a love interest from Human Nature and Family of Blood, was happy in the end, and she was, as we meet her granddaughter. He also bids farewell to Wilfred and gives Donna a wedding present, a winning lottery ticket that he borrows a quid off a lovely man named Jeff Noble. I thought that was kind of sweet, but looking at it now I think, is all this necessary? And then we see Rose. The Doctor sees Rose one last time, just before she meets him, and I'm like, she was the first and last human face the 10th Doctor saw. Now the regeneration. Now, I liked it when he was staggering to the TARDIS and collapsed. Then Ood Sigma appeared saying, "We will sing to you, Doctor. The universe will sing you to your sleep." I thought that was so beautiful, so moving and sad to watch. And when I first watched this, New Year's Day 2010, I was saddened by it, and when he said those heartbreaking words, "I don't want to go," I was like, I don't want you to go. And then he regenerated. But my opinion has changed over the years, and I look at it now and I think, okay, this is just dragging on, okay? He was told this at the start, in the Easter Special of 2009, that his time is running out, his song is ending. I look at that now and think that did drag on a lot longer than it needed to. But at the time when I watched it, I was genuinely sad. But looking at it now, I do kind of think it did drag on a bit. But I get what was happening. It was Russell T Davies's and David Tennant's last outing. Russell T Davies's last ever, time as lead writer, and David Tennant's last ever outing as the Doctor. They wanted to go out in a bang and do something memorable. And the regeneration. Now, I liked how he just shot out in beams and how he trashed the TARDIS. And then, in the final 30 seconds, out of the beams, we see the newly regenerated 11th Doctor. Now, I like the final 30 seconds in this. How he was all over the place. I'm going, ooh, I've still got legs, good, new hands, new fingers, and feeling his hair. Oh my god, I'm a girl. All that. Which is kind of ironic now, because the Doctor is female. But, yeah, crazy, Matt Smith. And that. Yeah, the second the 11th Doctor emerged from those beams, at the time, I was sad, but then when Matt Smith came in as the Doctor, I was like, all that sadness just went. I can't explain it, but it just went like that, and as he was crashing towards the Earth, hanging onto the TARDIS and was shouting, "Geronimo!" I just smiled and just went, well, here we go again. And it wasn't a long wait till either, so, those final seconds I still like to this day, But other than that, I thought the final act, the regeneration, was just, I've explained already, slow. Anyway, excuse me, let's get to my final thoughts and ratings. So, The End of Time, it was good. Timothy Dalton was a great guest star for this one, along with John Simm and Bernard Cribbins, and David Tennant were all great. The story, looking at it now, kind of far-fetched. The effects, somewhat slightly overdone, but not too much. But the story and that was good. The regeneration kind of dragged on, looking at it now. So do I recommend this? Yeah, if you're a 10th Doctor lover, then yeah. In fact, I do recommend it. Yeah, it's still a good episode. So, with all that being said, I think I will give Doctor Who The End of Time, let's see. I think I will give this a 4 out of 5. Oh yeah, I'll give it a decent 4 out of 5 for The End of Time. So that has been my Who review on Doctor Who The End of Time. Have you seen it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All of my social media links are linked down below in the description. So, I trust you had a great Christmas. So here's me now, wishing you all a very happy New Year, and I will be back New Year's, well, probably not New Year's Day, but January 2nd, reviewing the New Year's Day special, which is titled Resolutions. So until then, I wish you all Happy New Year and run for your life.